So Boogie's pretty much just trying to speed run, his entire career straight to the toilet in a matter of just a few years. The crazy thing is, not that long ago, I think like 8 years ago, maybe 6, it wasn't that long ago that he was already getting awards. He was considered one of the most prolific YouTubers. He was a very unique personality. And while a fence sitter, he was still considered a good person. And now at this point, pretty much outed. He likes hookers, spends all his money on them at one point in time. He's pretty much been one of the biggest losers that you could have ever found because he's just completely splurged all his money without ever actually owning a home. With all the money he's made, he never just bought a home and owned it. So he's pretty much perpetually in debt. And if you didn't know, he is a humongous man, so health problems. So the medical bills are piling up. Now, while he's finally getting some traction with the Locale Live and all that, and also a quick little tidbit, he also got into it with Wings on one of his lives, like the other day or yesterday or whenever it was, because he was talking about quitting because Keemstar is going to quit, even though Boogie's like, well, you know what, he was going to hand the reins over anyway. But long story short, basically he was pissed at Wings, and Wings wasn't going to show up to work, essentially, to the Locale Live. But he convinced him otherwise. And what's the crazy part is Boogie has pretty much found himself in hot water again. Now, he just got done attempting allegedly to scam his entire fan base for like $10,000. Now, $10,000 to me is a lot of money, but for the grand scheme of things on everything he's doing, it's not worth it because he only got 5 out of it by the end of it. That doesn't even guarantee he kept the 5. He might actually have to pay that in. Still don't know about that. That's still pending. But of all people that I never thought I would actually agree with, and I have to say this, Destiny of all people that I'm agreeing with in this situation, it's either he's really right or he's really wrong. He's never like in between. He's never like on the fence about, oh, maybe he might be mistaking something. No, everything I've seen him talk about, whether you agree with his politics or his lifestyle, which I don't really agree with anything he says, but when it comes to what he acknowledges and what he's talking about, he's either like really right about it or really wrong about it. But in this situation, I think he's like super W slam dunked. Balls all in his face. Boogie lost.
Got a bit of a windfall. Might have heard about it.
May have heard of it. We have. What's a windfall? He did a $10,000 crypto scam, using partly his cancer thing as an excuse for why he needed to scam his fans.
Go right ahead. Print it. Print it the way it is. Go right ahead. I'm okay with it.
Okay, so I guess just to wrap up, because we don't want to take all your guys' time tonight. So just as a couple things, right? So the story as laid out, if you look up secondary polycythemia versus polycythemia vera, all of the leading things that Boogie talks about leading to his condition are consistent with secondary polycythemia, not the mutation that would cause polycythemia vera. The things that Boogie says that his doctor wants him to check for afterwards, like doing a sleep study, are consistent with secondary polycythemia, not
and
primary polycythemia. And the fact that he says that he had the blood markers or something to confirm it 2 years ago, but is now getting a biopsy for secondary confirmation, even though he says he doesn't have the money for medical bills, but I guess now that he does have money, he's going to waste all of it on biopsying things that are already confirmed, or at least confirmed enough that he wanted to talk about it publicly for 2 years ago, and then use it to fundraise the money that he now has so that he can do the biopsy. But I don't even think he's doing, by the way, I don't think he's actually doing enough.
So Destiny, to summarize, Destiny,
if you wanted to disprove it, all he has to do is show a private party this particular medical thing, and it would be.
To summarize, Destiny, so you're basically saying he's kind of unlucky he doesn't have cancer.
I mean, for this particular case, yeah.
So for anybody that probably can't keep up with Destiny, and I'm kind of one of them, I was looking up some of this stuff as they were talking, as I was seeing the stream, because I saw this at work, and I was like, dude, what? He lied? That can't be. There's no way somebody's going to be that, stoop that low lying about cancer. And being that it bugs the shit out of me when people lie about stuff like that, because that could be life and death, he's pulled so many people into this lie, and I'm saying, alleged lie. But I 100% think he's lying, because the problem is the diagnosis that he's bringing up and what's actually being treated doesn't line up. Destiny kind of covered this, but to give you the stupid version, I'm going to call it second poly, which is what everybody thinks he has, and then poly V. Poly V will be the cancer one. So basically, we'll say both of them is a buildup of like blood cells, but basically it's your blood cells like choking your body. And here's the problem with that. When you have sleep apnea, which I had sleep apnea not too long ago, I lost 50 pounds, and it actually helped me. I don't have it anymore, so I get to breathe again. But when you're a very, very, very heavy set person Sleep apnea is basically where you're choking. You don't breathe while you're asleep. And when you have that problem, your blood cells are going to, produce very horribly. Basically, that's what it is. It was this blood choking on itself. So you can have sleep apnea, and it will give you second poly. That's basically the situation. And now that I've already covered that, poly V is where the condition isn't really from sleep apnea. It actually comes from the bone marrow. It's produced in the body itself instead of being, made. It's produced. So what he's trying to say is that he automatically had poly V because of the diagnosis, because they're treated similarly, which is only slightly true and misleading, and it is a very terrible way to put things. Now, let me go ahead and say this. Boogie loves to manipulate. He loves to lie, he loves to cheat, and he loves to steal from his his fan base at this point because he already, basically scammed everybody. But I was looking through, and I don't know the exact ones, but I know roughly 90 to 95%, I might be a little bit wrong on the number, but a good majority of cancer diagnoses have to have a biopsy. It has to have concrete proof. Doctors not going to put their, practice on the line because some jackass is like, oh, you told me I had this? Well, it's pretty similar. That must be it. All right, we'll go ahead and give you chemo. Basically, what I can see is what Destiny was saying. He was told he had second poly, but that there could be one part of it, which was the mutation which comes from the bone marrow. That is what they wanted to check, and they probably didn't check at the time, didn't care to check, whatever the details are. But to give you an understanding of the poly V, they have to do a biopsy, and it goes in the hip. It has to go in the hip, from what I understand, all the papers I was reading. It comes from that. They do pull it, and that's where they test it. That's the biopsy point. Most every type of cancer that you investigate or try to get a diagnosis of, you have to have a biopsy. You have to show that you are going through this for the treatment or possible cure, depending on what cancer you have. So yeah, I 100% believe he is faking this, and he's been lying about it or manipulating the situation. He heard second poly, and hey, we might be able to test for poly V, which would be cancerous. And then his eyes lit up. He cut all the lights on upstairs and went, oh, I can be a victim again? Can't nobody ever pick on a cancer patient. Now, here's the sad part. If it does come out that he has cancer, this is going to be horrible. Here's the thing. If he has cancer, and like he said, oh, wait and see, I'll get my diagnosis. It still showed that he lied for the last 2 years because he never had the official diagnosis. So even if he gets diagnosed now, who's going to believe him? He's going to come out with the papers going, see, where's my $25,000? Because, yeah, he got told that they would give him $25,000 if he upfront showed the diagnosis to Keemstar only. That's later on in the video, which I'm not going to go into. If you want to go watch it, like I said, go to Locale Live. It's 4 hours long. You can skim through it, but just know it may make your blood boil because Boogie, at this point, has put himself in such a corner. Almost Wings of Redemption himself. Jordy Jordan seems like an angel compared to this jackass right now. But Boogie's pretty much winning over him right now. He lied about a diagnosis that was not reached yet. It may be reached soon. He lied about, a scam coin, and he's still trying to act like it really wasn't, but he kind of on the fence about it and still kind of sort of admitting it. But basically, out of this whole situation, I don't understand how it could have got worse. I thought scamming people was going to be, like Boogie's like, sayonara, guys, suckers, I fucked up and only got $5,000. But you got footed the bill. I thought that was going to be like his write-off moment, going to the sun, flipping everybody off. Ha, I got the money. But no, apparently he's been lying about this diagnosis for so long, he kind of pretty much just lost track. And Destiny, of all people, called him out about it. I 100% back calling out people for being an obnoxious jackass that's like scamming people at this point. Now, I do think that this is probably going to be like the bigger downfall. When the documentary came out like 6 months ago, he had over 4 million subs. I remember him talking about it. And as of right now, he's kind of well getting under 3 million. And I'm pretty sure he might be under 3 million before the end of the year if it just keeps hemorrhaging the way it is. Now, he's only lost 10,000 in the last 30 days. But you got to think, for being, I think it was like 4.15. I might be wrong, but it was over 4. But he still lost 300,000 subs at this point. And that just, if that doesn't show you that he is losing ground, he's losing steam. And then to top it off, he's talking about quitting Locale, which is the only financial backing he has that's been helping him with all his bills, been helping him with his mortgage. And after he just berated Jordy for not wanting to keep the money rolling, it looks like he's giving up, even though he said, oh, well, we could still make half of that for the whole time. Why not make $1,500 extra every month? That's pretty simple. That's easy. That's dumb. Why not do it? Yeah, and then you're going to sit here and go, oh, you know what? People are talking about my cancer? How dare you? Don't question me. That's it. I quit. I'm quitting the internet. Fuck it. I'm just going to go be homeless. This has to show how dumb he is, being called out about something that apparently he's gotten away with for a few years. I'm surprised it took this long, but apparently he wasn't on Destiny's radar for the most part. Destiny probably just thought he was just so stupid it'd be insulting to question him, and then come to find out that this actually intrigued him. So yeah, this is going to be, to me, a rare Destiny W. So, hey, cool, Destiny. Thank you for calling him out. Coffee, Zilla, awesome for you to call him out too. I'm just waiting to see where this is going to lead to, because Lookout Live is one of the biggest financial, backings he has right now. And Keemstar even is like, at this point, that's probably like 4 strikes with Keemstar. He's done nothing but piss him off in the last 8 months they've been doing this, or almost a year. So I'm pretty sure Keemstar is almost fed up. I doubt he's going to hand over the reins to the biggest idiot of the entire Lookout podcast. At this point, it'd almost be a better option to let Jordy get a hold of it and just run it into the ground. There's still going to be a lot more, obviously, developing in this. I just wanted to give the rundown, the quickie, the little hand job, if you will, and let everybody know right now that Boogie is just continuously putting himself in a deeper hole. Not just financially, just credibility-wise, which he barely had any at this point anyway. But whatever he had left is probably gone now. But yeah, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.